It's Ash from Super Videos back for another video for The Walking Dead. This is going to be a video related to The Walking Dead's comic book series. We're going to be making some predictions about where the story might be heading towards based off of the events of the latest issue, issue 191, as well as the comic covers for the next 3 issues, I think. Before we actually get started with this, one thing I do want to mention is today, as you know, we have our live stream video, but today we're going to go live a lot sooner or earlier than we usually do. I'll be going live in like 45 minutes. So by the time you see this video, my live stream will probably have started. But go to the link in the description and let me know what live video you want to see today. Because I usually do my live stream Q&A videos on Friday, but I've been doing the live stream gameplay of Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1. So I just wanted to kind of know which one you guys would prefer, a live stream Q&A video or a live stream gameplay video for Telltale's The Walking Dead. So go to the link in the description. There's a poll at the top that you're going to see. Just do a quick vote on which one you want to see. With that said, let's jump right into this. So we're going to look at the possibility of Carl and Negan following Rick's legacy or following Rick's footsteps. And what do I mean by that? So obviously, spoiler alert if you have not read the latest issue, issue 191, because what I'm about to say will spoil a key moment in the latest issue. Something that happens to Rick. So a spoiler alert for those of you that have not read the latest issue of the comics yet. So based off of the last issue, we know Sebastian came in, shot Rick Grimes. And that was a pretty big deal. I've shared my thoughts and opinions on what I kind of feel about that moment. And I do have a lot of opinions about it. But let's just forget about the moment itself. Let's look at the future. Let's look at what could potentially happen if Rick ends up dying from that. So based on the cover for the next issue, issue 192, which has Carl on the cover holding a gun, standing in the middle of Commonwealth with walkers around, I think what could potentially happen, and this is just my prediction, but I have a feeling this might be where the story is heading. But I definitely want to know everyone's opinions on this as well. But I think in the next issue, it's going to be farewell to Rick Grimes. So Rick is going to die. And from there, what's going to happen is Sebastian flee the Commonwealth. And what we might potentially see is first Carl comes and he finds animated Rick Grimes roaming the streets of Commonwealth. And there's something extremely sad and powerful about that scene if they end up doing that. But we might see Carl having to put Rick Grimes down. He might have to shoot Rick Grimes. It might even kind of reflect back on the moments where Rick had to put down a close friend that was a walker, and it could potentially be a remixed version of the comics and the TV show if you think about, you know, the stories that they've told and the kind of moments Rick has had on both these mediums. The first example that comes to mind is Shane, but there's been numerous instances of that. So that could be like a very interesting remix of both mediums and a way to have something that's very, very personal and extremely powerful. What we might see after that, though, is Carl might actually go after Sebastian and the others that have fled. And he might be looking for revenge. So this could kickstart a sort of revenge story for Carl. And this might actually feed into Negan and his story, which I'll get to. But in terms of the Carl revenge story, it doesn't even need to be a long story or a in-depth story. It could be a story that's resolved within a few issues, but the point of it is that it brings Carl to the forefront of the story and it allows him to shine once again. He's been in the background for quite some time now in the comics in a way, so it'll be great to kind of have Carl come back into the forefront of the story. Now after that, once Carl goes out looking for Sebastian, obviously it's going to be outside the gates of Commonwealth and it might possibly be in the countryside. And looking at the cover for issue 193, we know there's someone in a farmhouse. We've been deciphering who it is. We've been kind of thinking about whether it is Negan or not. I still think it's Negan, but there's quite a lot of people or fans that don't think that it's Negan. But assuming that it is Negan in the countryside, living in the farmhouse, when Carl goes out looking for Sebastian, he might actually go into that area and he might stumble upon Negan, or Negan might stumble upon Carl. And we might have a scenario where Carl and Sebastian get into a fight, and Carl might not necessarily be able to hold his own, or even if he does, he might not have any weapons on him, or he might run out of ammo, and Sebastian might have like a gun on him, maybe the same gun that he used to shoot Rick Grimes, and maybe he's about to shoot Carl and kill Carl, and this is where Negan could potentially come into play and save Carl Grimes. And this could kickstart a very interesting dynamic or story or connection between Carl and Negan. They've had their interesting past already, Carl and Negan, but this could be a brand new way to bring these two characters into the forefront and have a story from that. Going back to what I said, we could potentially see a scenario where Carl and Negan follow Rick's legacy and try to bring peace in the Commonwealth and try to avoid any war or battle that might be a product of what Sebastian did to Rick Grimes. So I think there could be a very, very interesting way for them to blend in these different types of storylines, bring some of these characters to the forefront that have been in the background a lot. I definitely want to know everyone's opinions about this. What do you guys think about this theory? As far as I know, I'm the only one that has brought forward this theory, but there could potentially be other YouTubers or others who have similar ideas. But I want to know everyone's opinions about this. What do you think? Do you think it could happen? And do you think it's a good way to move the story forward? Hopefully I'll be seeing you in the live stream that we're going to have in 30 minutes. But that's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.